And we are back for episode 8 of Journey to a Million. I got to take over for Zach's intro. He didn't want to do it today, just like how he doesn't know how to do YouTube. But we are back here. Sorry, Zach, had to throw some shade. 0 for 2 on posting YouTube videos. But
it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
Third time is going to be the one for Zach. It has to be. I am confident in his ability. He's such a smart kid. And he's at Carroll. He's thriving right now, 4.0 first semester. So let's talk about, some of the good stuff that's happened in the week of sports. Let's start with this great fact Zach found here. $20 bet turns into $560,000 by correctly predicting the final scores of the 2 championship games. I am shocked. I don't know what the odds are. Jared, Zach, is this something you ever put money on?
Did he cheat? Did the guy bet like the teams winning and everything, or just the score?
Yeah, the exact score with the correct teams.
That's impressive. Yeah. I knew I would never win that. I would never bet on that, even if it is $20. It's just a waste of money, I think. But he got lucky.
I would just for fun. Why not?
A home run ball. Yeah, this is something else. Sleeper doesn't want us to do this. We're not old enough to be doing bets like this. So, that's okay. We do our lineups. We like our daily lineups. But, wow, that was certainly one of the shockers here, Zach. And with that, thank you for finding that fact. But, hey, we got to talk about championship games that happened this past weekend. This is going to be some good stuff, recapping these games that took place. And to start, were both of you guys, did you guys catch both these games? Was it?
I caught most of them. Yeah. I mean, I missed the first half of the first game, but I caught most of the rest of it.
I watched most of it. I had some intramural basketball during the second half of the Rams game, so I didn't get to see that. But
yeah, Zach's walking on. Half. He's walking on next year. We can announce that, so that's gonna be some good stuff. Watching Zach play some Carroll basketball, but first game, Bengals and Chiefs. This one, people thought Chiefs got this. Bengals, this isn't their year yet. They in a couple of years, but wow, they sure showed us, including myself.
Joe Shiesty.
Yeah, he's a bad man. Goes into Kansas City, goes into Arrowhead, and a statement win, OT win there, and it was 27-24. The Chiefs were up 21-3, and people were already writing off the Bengals, but wow, they were able to really come back in that second half. That was really what they were able to do. Burrow played well. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, they had at halftime, I think they were up by when the Chiefs failed to score. Even with them failing to score, they were up by like 10 at halftime or something. They had a 95% chance to win that game. I think that's like the first time that a team has had like a 95% chance to win in this deep in the postseason and ended up losing. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I saw. And I mean, it was a good game. I was definitely surprised. I had the Chiefs winning the whole thing. I thought they were clear favorites with the teams left. I mean, you had the Bengals and then 49ers and Rams. I mean, the only competition they would have, I thought, was like the Rams, but I thought after beating the Bills, they would have an easy road to the Super Bowl, but apparently not.
Yeah, this game was kind of similar to the regular season game where the Chiefs kind of went out to a 2-score lead at the first half, and then the second half was just all Bengals, and they came back and won it.
I'll be honest, when this game went to overtime and shocker, Chiefs win the coin toss, I was like ready, turn it off. I was actually on the way to a Bucs game that night, so I was already, okay, Chiefs Super Bowl, and then we saw the interception. I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Actually, as soon as the coin toss happened, Skip Bayless tweeted out, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs for making the Super Bowl, and congrats to Mahomes. He kind of did it right when that happened, but didn't turn out.
It took him 13 seconds to kick the field goal to beat the Bills, and then it took him 13 seconds to throw the interception to lose to the Bengals.
Yep, that was all over social media for sure, right after.
Yep.
Everywhere, but yeah, Evan McPherson is a bad man. We've said it on this podcast, and we are going to keep saying it. Wow, one of the best young clutch kickers, rookie, drills that 31-yarder to win the game and to send the Bengals to the Super Bowl. This team, a few years ago, were they a 1-win team? Wow, just the turnaround this Bengals team has had. And yeah, Joe Burrow certainly is a big part of it, but this defense too, certainly, underrated in some aspects, only surrendering 24 points to the Chiefs. I was shocked with how they performed this game as well.
And they only allowed what was it, 17 to the Titans? One of the top. I mean, they had Derrick Henry. They haven't been really outstanding. I didn't see it until playoffs, and I realized they're actually a really good defense. They're top 5 probably in the league.
I don't know if I would push it that far. They're just playing really good in the playoffs, but you know what they say: defense wins championships.
And
so
they're
kind of proving that. Yeah,
they have some good pieces like Trey Hendrickson. He had a big game too, and then also, Von Bell was a respectable guy when he was on the Saints as well, and he's been playing, up to that level. I believe he had the interception too in OT, right? Kind of saved Eli Apple there with that drop. I don't know if you guys recall seeing that. But
you see all of Eli Apple's tweets? He's
yes.
tweeting at everyone, talking trash.
Eli Apple is excited to make the Super Bowl, and I don't blame him. Look, they made it. A lot of chatter to Tyreek Hill, though. I'm sure you guys saw those, like Zack mentioned.
Yeah.
So certainly excited for Eli Apple. But let's move on here to the NFC Championship game. This one, I caught the end because, like I said, I was at a Bucs game, had to watch a 136-100 defeat. But hey, Marcus Howard, 9 points at the end of the game. I was giving him a standing ovation every single 3. So
Nuggets, yeah,
that's okay. So I got some pictures. Took some. So 20-17 then was this game. Rams winning over the 49ers. I had the Rams in this game. I wanted them to win, and hey, they won, thankfully. But this game was close the whole way through. 49ers were in a strong, they were in control, it felt like, in this game, 1-2 scores most of the way. But the Rams just came, they came crawling back, roaring back, I guess. So just overall, what'd you guys think of how this game went for the Rams and the 49ers?
Well, the Rams, they had a field goal, I think, and then they got a quick turnover, and then they scored again. So it kind of changes the whole direction of the game. I was thinking watching the game, I think it was I don't want to say the actual score, I don't really remember, but I think they were up 21-7, and then ended up being a tie game because they got the 2-point conversion. I think that's what happened. And then I looked at this game again because I didn't watch the whole game, and it was just another great game. I mean, what you'd expect out of the two teams that are coming out of the NFC.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't get to see the second half of the game because I had that basketball game. But first half, I thought the Rams were going to score a little bit more. The 49ers were, I think, kind of what I expected. Played good defense, ran the ball. Jimmy G was doing Jimmy G type things. And that ended up being, one-score tie game at half or something like that. And the Rams just played better in the second half, apparently. And obviously, the 49ers had that huge dropped interception, which probably changed the outcome and the winner of the game. But
Jaquaski Tart.
Yeah. There's a reason he's on defense, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I was, shocked. I thought the 49ers would have ran the ball more than they did. Jimmy G throwing the ball 30 times. It's going to be tough to win, having him throw that many times. I don't think that's ideal. But yeah, Elijah Mitchell only 11 carries, 20 yards, and then Debo 7 for 26. So that was interesting, how they had to do with the Rams. That's a tough defense they got. And also then, Stafford played well again, I think. Numbers don't lie here. 31-45 for 337 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Played well, it felt. And it's just great to see him heading to the Super Bowl. Just watching him in Detroit all those years, it just kind of felt like he was there, and no chance to win. So, go Matthew Stafford for that. But yeah, Kendall Blanton, when Higbee went down, I think that was kind of an X factor there. What do you guys think of his big performance? 5 for 57.
I had Higbee receptions at 4, and he had 2 and got hurt the rest of the game, but I didn't win that pick anyways. I've got a few other ones wrong, so it didn't really matter. But is Higbee going to be okay for the Super Bowl?
He's questionable, I think. Kind of depends how he progresses through the next week and a half.
Yeah. Okay.
But
he's got time, but there's a Pro Bowl in between, so he'll have a week to
Pro
rest.
Bowl.
So.
The Pro Bowl. Hey, we're making our Pro Bowl game pick in this episode, so stay tuned. So that's
right.
one thing we'll be doing. But we also have to talk about something here really brief, between this. We did that Pepsi Coke poll, and we have some results to share. So on Twitter, it was a 7-7 split with that. So, out of we had 14 only on the Twitter, not many because it wasn't really, I don't know, just not one that many people looked at because it was being on Twitter. And I have here the results then for the Instagram one. This one is more exciting. It was a 52 to 48% thing. And you want to guess who won?
Coke.
Zach, what's your guess?
I think it was Coke too. I thought I saw it.
Coke 52% to Pepsi 48%. So,
like I said,
that has decided Coke is the best drink, best soda, Coca-Cola. That wins. So,
well, sometimes the majority of people aren't always right, and
the audience is always
right.
This
might be one of those scenarios.
I disagree, but hey, Zach, you want to talk about some of the other news in the world of football?
Did either of you guys place a bet on Antonio Brown's gloves that he threw into the stands?
I did not.
I did not either. How much?
Yeah, they were up this week. It was like $1,500. It's just over it. And
wow.
It's the gloves they threw into the stands after storming off against the Jets. Obviously, we talked about that. Was it 2 episodes ago now, or something like
about
that? 3.
Yeah.
You gotta get those authenticated and then actually, hang those up in the man cave. Certainly would be a good thing to have. And then, February 2nd, that they finally announced the new team in Washington, the Commanders. Welcome. New team, no longer the football team. What do you guys' initial thoughts? I know we had a follower tell us it was the Admirals. Incorrect.
Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. Right when it came out, Zach started off the episode by stating that. So he was right. Commanders it is. Don't like it. I wish it was the football team. Still sticking to that. It's just they already changed out like their TikTok name. Like they're already verified as just the Commanders, and it just doesn't look. I don't like it. Maybe I'll get used to it, but I might just still call them the football team just because it's a meme at this point.
Yeah, I was in favor of the Red Wolves. I was hoping that was gonna be their name. I saw some pretty cool looking jerseys. They're kind of like the Bengals all white ones, but instead of like the Bengals stripes, it was kind of like kind of like the Florida State kind of pattern on it. And I liked how they looked, but I heard there's some like copyright or something with Red Wolves, so that's why they couldn't do it. But I guess Commanders is it's a name.
Yeah, indeed, it's a name, and sounds like Jared doesn't like it because of TikTok. So that's one you don't hear a lot.
That's not the reason.
That's what I'm hearing. But in other news, Davante Adams, our guy. We did a Packers season recap on the podcast. Jordon Lawrenz and myself. Wednesday's episode. Go give it a listen if you have not. It was a good. We broke it all down. We talked about the potential of this rebuild, and Davante Adams is a guy we mentioned with especially what we're going to mention here, seeking $30 million per season. I did some, research right now. He's market value around 25.8 million. So just under 26 million. So this would be exceeding expectations. Zach, do you think he can hit that 30 million mark?
I think he has a good shot. I mean, isn't Hopkins getting like 28? I think Hopkins is getting high 20s. But I think Adams he'll be the highest paid receiver. Because especially with the salary cap going up next year, teams are going to have more money to spend. And especially some teams that are going to want to draw Aaron Rodgers, like maybe the Broncos or I don't know, like the Giants possibly or something like that. They're going to pay Adams that in order to get Rodgers there as well. But I think he has a real shot. I don't know if the Packers will be able to give it to him, but
no, I mean, it's a good strategy by Adams. I mean, now is the time that teams are going to look for him, like you said, because if he's there, Rodgers probably still wants to play with Adams. So like it would be good for them to bring him in, but I don't think he's worth that much quite yet. I mean, he's a top receiver, but like, I don't know. I
That's
think he's
quarterback
asking a little
money.
too much. Yeah, it
It's
is.
quarterback money. And obviously,
Yeah.
we're going to talk later in the episode about the whole Rodgers
Yeah.
situation. But
Yeah, and looking at his contract stuff, just under $43 million was guaranteed at the signing, and then looking yearly cash, because like of course with a signing bonus, that depends if he plays and stuff.
for Hopkins,
Hopkins, I'm looking at it right now. In 2020, it says it was 29 million, so that looks just under that. So he could certainly get around there. Right now, Hopkins, it's around though, like his contract in total though. If you want some numbers, it's 27 million a year, and then Julio's second with 24 million a year from the Titans. So he could certainly, you would think he would shatter that. Yeah,
he's definitely not gonna. He's definitely not gonna get the 30 million salary, but with all like the signing bonus, incentives, all that, I think he can definitely get the 30.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly. And then with that, are you guys ready to talk about next week or the games upcoming up? The game, I should say. The Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The game.
Everyone loves the Pro Bowl.
Everyone does indeed love the Pro Bowl. Kirk Cousins is a Pro Bowler, so if you think that's cool, that is pretty cool. JT, right, Jared? You like that? That's some cool stuff, and then that's a lot of stuff. So
unfortunately, Quentin Nelson will not be participating in the Pro Bowl because of an injury, but we got JT. So I'm just gonna make my game pick right away if we are doing that.
You bet we're making a game pick. Go ahead.
JT will rush about 120. No, I'm kidding. He'll have like 60 yards, probably, maybe a touchdown. But yeah, I'm gonna go AFC here just because I think the AFC has won the last few years, but I'll go AFC.
Well, on NFL Slime Time, sorry, I just don't interrupt here. They previewed the Pro Bowl. I just see that come up when I have the Pro Bowl up here. Yeah, NFL Slime Time. They previewed it with Nate Burleson. This is the guy. They do the Nick broadcast for CBS. CBS and Nick that game. This is some cool stuff. So with that, I just found that interesting. If you want to watch a preview, they do Slime Time on Nickelodeon. So Zach
will be watching that. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure he'll be
most definitely. Won't miss it for the world.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the NFC. I think Kirk Cousins. I don't know if he's been there before, but I don't think he's gonna get the memo that you kind of like play 50%. I think he's gonna play 100% and throw like 3 touchdowns and win it for the NFC.
I like Zach's rationale here. I'm gonna go NFC too. We gotta go for the Packers. What they're part of here. They're part of the NFC, so gotta root for
their
them.
Offensive players only.
Yeah. Go.
Zach, are you thinking like they're gonna pull like a me and Jim class kind of a thing? Kirk Cousins will, or he's just gonna be try hard and no one else will?
Yeah, and that he's definitely gonna go on like Twitter and stuff after and talk about his his Pro Bowl stats and everything. Make sure everyone knows about
Jared
it.
at least didn't do that.
Yeah, he just told everyone in person. So
yeah, he did it in person. He didn't do it over social media.
Yeah,
makes it a little better, right? But Zach, you want to talk then? Give you the mic here. Talk some of the head coaching hires that happened.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, we talked about a lot of them last week, but this week there's a couple more. Brian Dabble. I don't know how you say his name, but the offensive coordinator for the Bills is going to the Giants, and then Josh McDaniels is going to the Raiders, and a lot of their players kind of came out kind of frustrated that Rick Bisaccia wasn't returning. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Was it last week, the week before? We all thought he should get another shot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of players agreed, but Mike Davis did not apparently. Or Mark Davis.
Davis. Josh McDaniels from the Patriots, right? He had a little rival going with the Colts when we played him, because like he shut down the Colts head coaching job when we offered it to him, and then we got Reich. So I've never been a fan of this guy to begin with, and now he's taken. I mean, obviously he's going to go for a job, but he's taking the job away from Bisaccia, and makes me not like it even more.
Yeah, I was really rooting for Rich Bisaccia getting that job with the Raiders. I'm sure I don't know. You guys think because the Dolphins, that spot's still open. So, right? I think because I believe he did an interview with the Dolphins. I think that might be a potential suitor right there, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Definitely.
there are reports coming out that the Vikings are zeroing in on Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell, which there were similar reports last week about the Jaguars and was it Leftwich? Burton Leftwich from the Bucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen anything more about that, so I don't know what happened there. But do you think that's a good hire for the Vikings? Obviously, the defensive-minded head coach and Mike Zimmer didn't work out great for them, so switching it up.
Yeah, they got the weapons. I mean, yeah. I mean, they have like what they need, and Mike Zimmer wasn't it. So I mean, give it a shot. I mean, I think he's a good hire. We'll see what he can do with this team.
I got an update for you, Zach. 35 minutes ago, it's reported Leftwich, he actually pulled himself out of consideration for the job, right? As of just recently.
For the Jaguars?
Yep. He is expected to remove himself from consideration for the Jaguars head coaching job soon. That's from Rick Strode on Twitter. That was kind of announced. So, you know, he's not the guy, it sounds like, in Jacksonville. So they're going to find someone else. So that's news in the coaching world, right?
Yeah.
And then,
but I guess going back to Kevin O'Connell is the only thing with that is he didn't call plays for the Rams. So I know that's like a big thing with a lot of the offensive coordinators that go to head coaching. That's like a big, conversion factor between the two positions. So I don't know if that'll play into effect about how successful he is and how much he helps that offense, but it's just something to keep an eye on.
I'm sure they'll figure something out too. I mean, even if he doesn't call in plays, we'll see. I mean, a lot has to be worked out yet. But.
Like Hackett on the Broncos, he wasn't calling plays in Green Bay. We don't know how he's gonna fare. So that's why people are already judging. You know, I think it's a good hire still, but like I don't know. We don't know how it's gonna turn out. So
you never know until you actually see a season.
Also, then we mentioned like the Jim Harbaugh, you know, with that situation, with him sticking with Michigan. You know, he only beat Ohio State once. He's got to beat him a couple more times before he goes back to the NFL, I think, my opinion. But
yeah, and like you look at like Urban Meyer, he came into the NFL, that didn't work out for him. So maybe the same thing was going to happen with Jim Harbaugh. You know, maybe it's the best idea that he stays in Michigan.
I mean, he's been in the NFL before. He like won a Super Bowl, didn't he? Or went to a couple?
He went to one, three.
With the 49ers.
Three straight Nfc Championship games. It was 2011, 2012, and 2013.
So he's had success at both levels. And there's an actual report with him in the Vikings job saying like the interview is just going to be a formality. And then like the day after the interview, he called Michigan and was like, I'm not leaving. So I don't know if there's something that hasn't come out, but
Patrick Graham, Raheem Morris are the two finalists with O'Connell, then O'Connell as well with that. But as you said, they're leaning towards O'Connell, right? Is that kind of what we were mentioning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Zeroing in on him, yep.
Yeah, because that was they're mentioning those two guys are the other outside ones, but that kind of wrap up our coaching hires discussion.
Yeah.
Big news.
It's going to quarterback news, which is obviously going to be a lot with the offseason coming up. But then Tom Brady's double retirement within a week.
It was not a double retirement. He retired. He said he never said he was going to retire, but he did say that he was far from making the decision. But then, not even like a week later, he just said he was done. So I'm starting to think I'm starting to think he told someone he was going to retire, and then it got
that's
out,
where
but he didn't.
The Adam Schefter tweet. He told somebody and it got out with the Adam Schefter tweet.
Yeah,
and then he officially announced it like the day
That's
after.
What I'm thinking.
2 days later.
Yeah, we all knew it was coming soon, but I didn't think it would come this season until a few weeks ago. But good for him. His career is over.
Stafford is a hero.
Yeah.
Ending Brady's career at Tampa and in the NFL. Wow. Yeah. Very storied career. Best resume ever in the game of football. Most decorated resume for sure.
You'll love to see it as a Colts fan. Brady always, beat the Colts. So I don't know if you guys saw that meme that
I
NFL
did.
posted on Instagram. Okay, the SpongeBob meme. Yeah.
Yeah, that really
Nice
goes
to
with our
see.
Nickelodeon talk here. Really, slime time.
SpongeBob.
No,
But-
we were slowly learning that Drew's obsessed with Nickelodeon.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But I mean, it's football, not cartoons.
Well, they're tying them together. People gotta
Somehow,
watch.
I don't know why. Don't know why, but they are.
But Brady's retirement definitely opens an interesting quarterback situation in Tampa. And one of the quarterbacks that's kind of linked there is Jimmy Garoppolo, who obviously had time with Tom Brady in New England before he went to 49ers. And Jimmy and the 49ers mutually agreed to seek a trade this week. The top 3 destinations that were listed were Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and Denver.
To add on to that, I think is Jimmy Garoppolo the best number one option right now, predicted to be? Do you know that?
It kind of depends on the Rodgers, Russell Wilson, kind of those other big names.
Okay, because I also saw a report that said Carson Wentz has the second best odds to start as the Buccaneers head quarterback next season. So there's a lot that could go on yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Kyle Trask, Bernie's got him in the dynasty league. Potential guy, I don't know. I don't think he'll be ready maybe, but he's certainly a guy you got to look at in Tampa, being kind of that guy from Florida too.
They did take him in the second round, but
I know that's what I'm saying. Maybe they might put him in that spot. I don't think if you want to win now, Jimmy G's proven he can win some games with a good supporting cast around him. I don't know how much,
which they definitely have. They have a supporting cast.
Yeah, so you might target him. Same with Carson Wentz. He's proven he can win around. Plus, he played at MVP level. I know it really didn't work out in Indianapolis, but maybe.
I mean, he's not. It's been a year, so I don't want to give up on him yet. But it's just rumors going around right now.
Well, that Jacksonville loss certainly is a kicker for his.
It's
future.
just it. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the offseason, and there'll be updates. But it's just I don't like seeing, because we've had 3 different quarterbacks in three years straight now. So if you're a Colts fan, you don't want to see really Carson Wentz go. I mean, some people do. If you're bringing in Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, go ahead. But Carson Wentz is probably I would rather have him than a Derek Carr or someone like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens though.
You'd take Carson Wentz over Derek Carr?
It's close. I've went back and forth, but
not close.
I would rather have Wentz because Derek Carr just hasn't had the experience in the. I mean, Carson Wentz had
the Raiders through this year.
They didn't do anything in the playoffs.
The tie.
They made it to the playoffs, didn't they?
Carson Wentz was on the Super Bowl team with the Eagles.
The Colts have a lot better team than the Raiders. If the Colts had Derek Carr this year, they're making the divisional round at least.
Yes,
at least
5-6 and then 5-6 seed in the playoffs. I think
they're winning that division. Yeah, no, they would beat Tennessee this year.
Derek Carr is an underrated quarterback, and the only reason Jared likes Carson Wentz more is because he was in a Colts uniform.
Well, no, it's just because I don't want to give up on a quarterback after year 1. So right now, I'd rather stick with Carson Wentz because we paid him and he's already in our he is already fitting into our team. I don't want to just give up on him. But if you take them
it's a Colts biased.
If they're both free agents, I would probably lean towards Derek Carr. But since we already have Wentz, I'm not going to try to. It's not much of an improvement to get to trade for him.
So we learned Jared has a deeper Colts bias than we thought. But moving on. Aaron Rodgers reportedly bought land in Nashville to build a house.
Oh, come on.
And he's opening to join in Tennessee. But one of the parameters that was reported is he wants Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Devontae Adams wherever he goes next year. Which I don't know if that'll be in Tennessee with Julio and A.J. Brown. I don't know how that would
It won't be.
I know where that'll be. That'll be in Green Bay. I think he comes back. Yeah.
It's almost like they're already there, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And MVS,
MVS and Adams are both free agents.
I want
and
MVS
the Packers
to return.
Packers are $40 million over the cap right now, though.
Don't care. We talked about how to handle the cap on Wednesday.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers did say he was going to come to Indianapolis on the Pat McAfee show and announce his decision in a few weeks. So we'll find out then, I guess.
Yeah, but I come on. If he buys land in Nashville, it doesn't mean anything. Like, the dude's almost ready for retirement. That's why people like this narrative, like, oh, he bought land in Nashville, he's a Titan. It's just like, come on. And
I think all these rumors are going to start coming out just like last season when like with the whole thing with their offensive coordinator that he didn't like and all the stuff.
There's a bunch of stuff. So, yeah. The list goes on.
That's going to happen again until he goes to a different team or resigns. Whatever happens will happen,
So what are your guys' picks for where he's going to play next year?
Green Bay.
I don't think Green Bay. I can't make a pick. I don't see him coming back. They don't have the money to pay all the other weapons, and I can't see him running back another year. But, okay, then I'm going to say Miami. He's going to be on the Dolphins.
Miami.
Yes.
It's an interesting pick. I'm going to say Denver.
Going around.
Really? Wow.
Just because they've been pursuing quarterbacks, and I think they're definitely willing to give up a lot for Rodgers, and they would give up more for Adams. So I think they have the assets to trade, and they have the willingness to give up those assets in order to get both of them.
I see that narrative going around with Denver, but like with the coach going there. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I just don't see him going to Denver. I'm kind of with Drew too, though. I don't really see him leaving the Packers unless he retires, but I don't know.
I know the cap space is
back-to-back MVPs. He's not going to.
Yeah, but
not yet.
I mean, Washington, the new Washington Commanders are reportedly going to make a huge push for a quarterback this offseason. So whether that's Russell Wilson or maybe we could see Rodgers there, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there. So, I mean, this would probably be the year if they're going to go for a big quarterback. I mean, not saying Rodgers would go there, but you got Wilson, Rodgers, Garoppolo on the move. There's some good options out there. So if they're going for a quarterback, they could. This is the year probably.
Yeah, they have some weapons. McLaurin, Gibson. They have solid offensive weapons as well. They have a pretty nice defense going on right now too. Highlighted with Chase Young, of course, but I don't know who is the guy. If they're making a big push for a QB, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't think Jimmy G would be someone they'd be interested. To be honest, you need someone a playmaker. So, let Russ cook. That might be a place where you can let him cook.
Could be. Zach likes him, so maybe we'll let him cook there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let Russ cook.
Yeah, and also another guy who cooks, Joe Burrow. Reports the Dolphins offered the Bengals 3 first-round picks to move up to the number 1 overall in 2020, and rightfully so for a guy like Joe Burrow. Certainly, he's lived up to the hype, and you don't see that a lot now with these big-name quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson was one too, and he's lived up to the hype as well from college, but it's not something you see every day now these days.
And, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase haven't lost a single playoff game since college, which is kind of cool because they won the whole thing at LSU and now they're still in the Super Bowl. So we'll see if that continues, but we'll talk more about that obviously next week. But
yeah, if you're the Bengals, do you take it?
Do you take the 3 first-round picks?
Yep.
They're in the Super Bowl, aren't they?
No.
Well, right now. I'm talking back before the draft. Because obviously you have this prospect in Joe Burrow that you think he's going to be good, but you don't know for sure. And you're offered 3 first-round picks.
I think I would have, because football is such a team game. We've seen teams, Goff winning, of course Jimmy G winning before. I think, I would have taken it because teams have proven you can win with an okay quarterback.
Yeah, and then there's still Justin Herbert and Tua that were later in the draft. And obviously, looking back now, if you would have made that pick, you would have made that trade with the 5th pick. You would have took Herbert. Everything would have been fine. But obviously, the Dolphins, they took Tua. So,
ouch.
Assuming that kind of makes the trade look a little better for the Bengals, but
yeah. I mean, if they obviously they didn't know they were going to have this good of a season. If they had like Tua, I don't think they're this far, but it might have taken a few more years. Who else? I don't know who else they would have gotten, obviously, in their picks, but at the time, it probably would look good to take those 3 picks. But now that you know, they're in the Super Bowl, like you're not going to look back and say they should have because they made the right decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, hindsight's always 2020, and
Yeah.
I guess some other news that just came out the last 2 days that kind of involves the Dolphins is the Brian Flores, who obviously got let go this offseason before the playoffs, I think, or it might have been the wild card round or something like that. But he's filed a lawsuit against the NFL and the Giants. I don't know if the Dolphins were included in that, were they? But
I think they were, yeah.
They were.
Giants.
So
the Giants.
all through. The Giants were for
Dolphins.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's alleged racism in the hiring this year because there's some private texts with Bill Belichick that came out where Belichick thought he was messaging Brian Dabble.
Yeah, I have the conversation up right now if you want me to read it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so sounds like you've landed. Congrats. Belichick text to Flores. And did you hear something I didn't hear? Flores replied. Giants? Question mark, exclamation point, and then a bunch of those. Belichick texted. I interview on Thursday, Flores wrote. I think I have a shot at it. I got it. I hear from Buffalo and the Giants that you are their guy. And then, Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Dable? And then Flores just asked, just making sure. And then he said, sorry, he blanked this up. Belichick answered, I doubt I double checked and I misread the text. I think they're naming Dable. I am sorry about that. BB. That is how it was labeled. And that's the conversation Zack was referring to.
Yeah. So obviously Belichick needs some last names in his phone. But I mean, I guess everyone has their opinions, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But then there's also reportedly the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, offered Brian Flores $100,000 per loss in 2019, which I don't remember their final record. It was like 7-9 or 6-10 or something like that. So he wasn't really happy with that. And obviously they have had the 2 losing seasons. So there's like a lot of people kind of like joking around that Brian Flores, he's the first coach ever to get fired for winning games. Because Ross wanted to tank for the pick, which would have been that Joe Burrow pick they were just talking about in that reported trade offer. But then I think it was today, Hugh Jackson came out and was reportedly offered a similar deal by the Browns back when he was their head coach for 2.5 years. I think it was 2017, 2018. And he went 3-36-1 with the Browns. So whether that was
he got
on
a little more
or not, yeah, maybe he's got a little better offer, like $200,000 a loss or something. I don't know, but
I mean, either way, that's just messed up. You can't do that.
Yeah, you play to win the game. Brian Flores mentioned that, he's not going to play to lose a game. He's not going to coach. That's not why he's doing what he does. So certainly, if this is true, I know the reports, Ross, he's declining. Stephen Ross, or is it Stephen? But
I don't know.
He's denying all these reports, saying they're false, which, who knows? We'll have to wait and see until the process of law is done. And, we'll see then how this turns out then in this lawsuit, because this is really the first time we've seen, this happen in the NFL, right? Seeing a coach sue the NFL.
And I think the NFL came out and said like they would never do that, or like they went against what Brian Flores said in his lawsuit. Obviously, like they're not going to just like admit that they did something that they probably didn't. But
this isn't like the NFL. Well, I don't really know what the NFL is being sued for, I guess.
Well, discrimination. It's the discrimination.
I was going to say that seemed like more of like with each team respectively. But I've seen the Rooney Rule where like coaches, when they interview candidates for the head coaching, and I think it's general manager jobs as well, they have to like interview a minority. So obviously that's coming into question of whether or not that's like a good rule, just because obviously teams like what is alleged in the Giants situation, where they have like their pick or whatever, and they're just interviewing him without like actual possibility for him to get the job. But obviously, I think NFL's intent with the rule is they have good intentions with it, but it's just
people are getting around the rule just by I know what you're saying.
And it all goes back really to affirmative action, really, making sure everyone is interviewed and you really hire the best possible candidate, and regardless of race, sex, whatever, and that's why we'll have to wait and see how this lawsuit turns out then. And yeah.
There's a lot that's going to come out about it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on like that. So you just got to hope it turns out or works out for the best for everyone, and we can continue with next season or finish up this season even.
This is just kind of like a question. Do you think Flores, is he still going to get a head coaching opportunity this year? He's probably like leading candidate, or do you think either he's going to like kind of not want a job because he's going to want to focus on this, or do you think teams are just going to not want him to have distraction like that as he's trying to coach?
That all depends on when this lawsuit is finally over. I mean, if it only takes a few weeks or like a month or two, like then he has all off season to like focus towards his next team. But if this goes on over the summer and it just keeps going and going, like then he's probably going to want to focus on this first and not worry about football until, when it's available. So we don't really know much right now. We'll have to wait and see, but he's still a great coach. I mean, people are probably going to offer him stuff, but it's just whether he'll want to focus on that right now.
Yeah, he mentioned he will not drop this lawsuit, even if he gets hired by a team these upcoming days. So plan for him he's going to stick through this. And he understands. He's quoted even saying like around the lines of just like, he understands the risk. And like, if he's not, he might be done coaching and he understands that. And this is the risk he's willing to take is basically what he said. Here it is. But this is bigger than coaching. This is bigger than me. And so that's going to be, those are the words he sticks by. So we're going to just have to wait and see. But yeah, he certainly is a talented coach and deserves to be coaching in the National Football League, being one of the 32, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, with that, you guys got anything else in this episode of Journey to a Million? Not a lot of lines covered.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's not,
Pro Bowl.
not too many lines for Pro Bowl. Yeah,
there will be. There will be probably. I don't know on Sleeper. Sure. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but if not, we got Super Bowl coming up next week that we can make lines for. So
yeah, so going over the schedule here before we go, episode 9 is next week. That's our Super Bowl preview, and Jordon Lawrenz, he will probably be on it with us. So it'll be a 4-man crew here on the Sports Crew for episode 9 of Journey to a Million. So that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And that goes with next week's schedule. With the Sports Crew, we have episode 48 of Jordan Drew, the Sports Crew, coming out. Jordon Lawrenz's EWC boys/girls basketball breakdown. He's on episode 2 of that. The February 8th breakdown will be out on Tuesday. Drew's College Athlete Spotlight. Episode 11 is Wednesday. And then, yeah, Friday, be back here. Journey to a Million resumes episode 9. So social media, you guys all know the drill. JD Sports Pod's our Twitter. Jordan Drew _Sports Crew is the Instagram. And then Jordan Drew, the Sports Crew, is the Facebook and YouTube. So check those out. And yeah, with that, thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Jordan Drew, the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.